Hello, guys. Jason Lanier here. I am coming to you live from where am I? Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm going to take questions as soon as. Um, Let me type something in for you guys real quick. This is going to be about the Rotolight competition, but I will answer questions from you guys. But what I want to do right now is just type this in, and it's a really simple URL. But I want to talk about this. Okay, so it's jasonlanier.com/competition. So I'm sitting here in my hotel room, but the main purpose of today is for me to be able to talk to you guys about this competition. We know it's been a really tough year for everyone in the world, obviously, and it's been a tough year for people just in general to create. It's been really, really hard. And I know normally I chat with you guys, and I'm going to chat once everything's over, but I want to get this message out. So just bear with me, and then I'll answer all your questions in chat and have fun with you guys. So, but it's been a really hard year for everyone. And so, especially as a creative, all of our stuff has been, we've had a lot of stuff just taken from us, meaning it's really difficult for us to be able to create. It's really difficult for us to be able to make a living, and so on and so forth. As you know, I'm the original Rotolight Master of Light. I am the OG mother freakers of Rotolight. Did some really cool stuff with Sony too. But anyway, and as a result of that, what I want to do is I've been working with Rotolight on what can we do to really make life better for artists out there. And anytime I look at the current photography competitions, they're kind of just, let's just be real, guys. Photography competitions are about, most of them are about helping people make money, meaning the businesses. Like if it's a WPPI or a Photo Plus or whatever, those are all about your registration fees, and that you pay that registration fee, and then that's how they make their money. It's a huge money maker for photo warehouses and conventions and all that crap. Well, what we're doing with Rotolight is very different. So when the CEO of Rotolight, Rod, spoke to me, he said, "Hey, Jace, we need to do something really for the photography community." And so what we're doing is this is going to be a photo competition. There is absolutely no registration to, or no fee to register for this. You can go right on and you can join this competition. So let me break it down. First off, guys, go to jasonlanier.com/competition. It has all the rules, all the regulations. There's not a lot. I'm not a big regulation guy, but it has all the rules and everything that you need to do to be able to enter this competition. But I'm going to go over it in brief. First thing is you can submit one image. So there's one image that you guys can submit with your best shot. Second thing is it has to be something that you lit with a Rotolight. And the reason for that is because the winning image, and there's actually 2 or 3 categories, not categories, there's like first, second, third place, but the main prize is the Titan X1. So if you win, we don't want to say, oh, this was lit with something else. So it has to be lit with the Rotolight. So if you don't have a Rotolight and you want a chance to win the Titan X1, and there's no strings attached other than you just win. If you want a chance to win, guys, you can either A, buy a Rotolight at a discounted price, or go rent one, or find a friend that has one. Get together with your friends. That's another thing you could do, is get together with your friends, people who have a Rotolight, and you could go and create this stuff. That's what I would do if I were in your guys' shoes and you don't have a Rotolight. So you have to, A, you have to shoot it. You have to, B, you have to shoot it with a Rotolight. C, then you have to go and enter the, you have to submit the image on the Facebook group for Rotolight. That's it. That's all you have to do. Your boy here is the final judge. So what's going to happen is you guys can bribe me with the fedoras or whatever else, but it all kidding aside, I will not take any bribes for this. I am the one who gets to decide who wins this. And so that's why I wanted to touch base with you, because anytime that I've looked at rules, and I've won a lot of competitions and I've won a lot of awards, but it's still frustrating to me. It's still frustrating to try to figure out what the judges want, because the judges don't come out and say, this is what we're looking for. Well, this is the judge saying, this is how you win a $6,000 prize. Because Rotolight's giving away a case, they're giving away the Titan X1, batteries, the bundle. It's ridiculous what they're giving away. And so that's all that you have to do. You guys have 1 full month. So this is on January 31st is the deadline to submit your images for this competition. Now, and again, guys, I'm really trying not to read the comments. I'll get to you guys as soon as I'm done. Don't feel free to comment, but I'm really trying to get through this, and then I'll have fun with you guys and answer all that. So you have until January 31st to enter. You enter on the Facebook group for Rotolight. You can find all of the information on JasonLanier/competition. Now, here's what I've done, guys. On that webpage, there is a complete listing of everything that you should do, and there is a link to the Neo 2, the EOS, the Nova Pro 2, and the Titan 1. And if you click on those links, I've really done this to try to help my people out here. What you guys do is, if you click on those links, it's going to take you to information related to each one of those lights specifically. And then from those lights, it's going to have information, and it's going to have all my videos and all of my pictures by each and every light. So if you have a Neo 2, tons of inspiration on the Neo 2. If you have an EOS, tons of inspiration on the EOS. The Nova Pro 2, same thing. And even the Titan X1 if you happen to have one. So again, I'll answer all your questions. I'm trying to be good and not read them right now. Okay. I want to get to them, but you guys can ask me everything. So the really cool thing is, once all of this is said and done, your images will be used in Rotolight's social media. They're not trying to keep your images and use them for all their own stuff. They're trying to help you guys out. So if that's something that's a concern for you, no, it's not about, oh, let me take your image. There's no strings to this. The string is, go out and create amazing work, create it with the Rotolight light, and blow yourself up, baby. That's what this is about. It's not about strings. You guys, I don't do that crap. I wouldn't do a contest that would do anything like that. It's about creation. It's about giving back to the community. So that's really what it boils down to. Now, here's something that I really want you guys to listen to. If you go to that jasonlanier.com/competition, I'm doing something that I've never done for anybody. Okay, I've never done this. 1 week from today, and you can register for this. 1 week from today, I am doing a free lighting seminar on Zoom. You guys can join me live on Zoom 1 week from now. I'm going to do a free lighting workshop, and I'm going to do that so I can help teach you guys how to take your best shots for this competition. I am doing everything in my power to help you guys win. I really am. And so if you guys just go on to that jasonlanier.com/competition, right at the top, you're going to see a link. You click on that link. It's going to take you to a Zoom session. I'm going to share images that I've done with the lights. I'm going to walk you guys through how I did each one of them. And it's going to give you some insight as to what I did to create that work and what you can do to create awesome work as well. Now, in brief, let me tell you what we're looking for. Now, when I say we, what's going to happen is, you're going to go on to the Facebook, go onto the website page, check it out. There's a link right there to Rotolight's Facebook group. It's super easy. I've tried to make this as easy as possible. Now, from there, what you do is, when your image is ready, you have until January 31st to join the Facebook group for Rotolight, and then post your image. Now, once you add all of that stuff, you're good to go. You're all set. And at that point, Rotolight is going to take all of those images, and you're going to, because when you post it on the Facebook group, I'm not too worried about this right now, because people should be watching that Zoom webinar. They should be doing those things to learn and listen to the head judge as to how you can win this. But once you do all of this, what you're going to do is post your shot on the Facebook group, and you're going to hashtag it WinTitanX1, WIN Titan X1, and hopefully you win. I am hoping, and I am rooting for you guys. And I know, guys, I'll say this much. So let me get my thoughts through, and then we'll talk, because I can't wait to talk to you guys. I absolutely love talking to you guys. You have no clue. So when you post that image, Rotolight's going to take all those images. I'm sure it'll be a lot. They'll take all those images, and then they'll I'll look at them with them, but ultimately they're gonna say, hey, here's what we like and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna say, that's the winner, baby. That's the one. And so if you guys are in a situation where you are looking for a boost, if you're in a situation where you're looking for something that, honestly, for a lot of people, I'm not going to lie, I mean, winning something like a Titan X1 could really be career changing. And I'm the kind of person that believes that if you get a break in a career, and this is another reason we're trying to do this, if you get a break with your career, obviously that could be life changing, and like it has been for me. So when I tell you that I am always looking for ways to give back and always looking for ways to do these things for all of you out there, I really am. And I'm grateful that you guys watch the videos. Rotolight is grateful that you watch the videos that we put out. And this is our way of saying thank you. And you would be hard pressed to find any other lighting company in the world that's ever given back to their customers and a YouTube channel like Rotolight has. Nobody has. And this isn't a junk light. This is the most advanced light in the world. If you guys haven't seen my video on the Titan X1, you need to check that bitch out. It's crazy. This is the only light in the world that self-diffuses. Guys, when you watch this happen, I'm just being for reals with you guys. When you watch, and I want you to understand this, because if you win this light, it's going to blow your mind. I'm not kidding. The light, you're looking right at the light. And when the CEO of Rotolight, Rod, told me about the Titan X1, I really thought he was full of crap. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Not because I don't trust him, but because I'm like, how does that even work? The light, if you look at the light, and he said, dude, and he has a British accent, so I won't try to do it, but he's like, the light self-diffuses. It changes the beam angle on the lights, which diffuses it. And I'm like, whatever, that's garbage. Just how are you going to do that? Dude, when you guys watch it and you see it change and you see it just go complete frost, it's like it's, you know, when you guys, like, they put frost on the windows, like at Christmas time, that's what it looks like. And it's just, it blows my mind. It's crazy. So at any rate, this is going to really, going to change the marketplace. It's going to, this light will. And I also think that, guys, this gives you an opportunity out there to do more with your work and for you to be able to get out there. So again, we're kicking this year off. And I know some of us, again, I live in communist California. Some of us are still locked down, which is why I leave California and go shoot like I am in Florida right now. So if you guys are in a situation where you're locked down, you can do shoots inside your house. You can do shoots anywhere. I mean, you could really do some very creative stuff. I have a buddy named Chad. Chad, he does a lot of like food photography, bar photography, because he's a bartender. And I always love looking at his images, and he always uses Rotolights, and he's always shooting glasses, and it's really creative with what he does. So go to that page, jasonlanier.com/competition. Really look at some of that stuff, guys. Couple things. Does it have to be a model? No. Does it have to be anything? No. It just, what I would really recommend is that it needs to tell a story. It needs to be able to capture your eye. I mean, when you look at an image, the image should go, oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. So it needs to be something that really catches your eye. You can use as many lights as you want, as long as they're Rotolights. And that's another great reason to go to that page, is because it gives you inspiration, where I've done from anywhere from 1 light setup to like a 6 light setup. Like when I shot the Corpse Bride shoot in London, that was, if you guys watch that video, I mean, there's like, we set up Nova Pro 2s and Neo 2s and blah, 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 blah. And then there's other shoots that I've done where it's just like 1 light, you know, like the image I posted to even promote this live stream tonight was just a single shot. You know, Maddie and I were in Ireland, and I did a single shot with a Neo 2. So that's why I said use a Neo 2 to win a Titan X1. You really can do that, because it's about story. It's about lighting, and lighting is story. And guys, when you think about Rotolight, whenever somebody says something like, oh, it's not, you know, and they try to compare it to a normal strobe, do you know how more advanced these are compared to normal strobes? Godox or Profoto or whatever. They're so much more advanced. And I'm not just, it's really the truth. This is cinematic lighting, and it's the way of the future. And this is your opportunity to really get in on it. So try to tell a story with your shots. That's very important. And another thing that's really important is, let's say you're going to shoot at the sunset. Okay. Expose for that sunset, but with your camera, but then use your Rotolight for your subject. If you're on an alleyway, like I did a Jack the Ripper shoot in London, and I shot a model named Derek. Emily was there. Obviously, she was the female counterpart, and then there was Derek, was the guy playing Jack the Ripper. I love those shots. Those shots are ridiculous. And the Jack the Ripper shoot, like the shot of Derek when he's standing there. If you guys haven't checked out that video, go look at that shoot. This is an example. Derek is standing there, and I'm using 3 Neo 2s for that shoot. One Neo 2 is on a light stand that's backlighting Derek, and so it's giving him rim light. Another Neo 2 is facing the opposite direction and lighting the brick wall behind him. And then I have a Neo 2 inside of the illuminator, which is key lighting Derek. These are the kinds of things that I'm going to go through in the Zoom webinar that we're going to do, and it's for free. Everything is for free. You don't have to spend a single dime to enter this contest. You don't have to spend a single dime. There's no catch. You just have to get out there and create, and that's what's so amazing about this. So another thing, guys, another tips. I'm trying to help you guys. I want you to kick ass. I want you to kick some freaking ass on this, okay? And I'm going to help you. I'm really going to coach you guys through this. I promise, okay? Another great idea is when you guys are out there shooting, if you're great time to use a Rotolight when you're just going to create epic work, okay? Street lights. Imagine street lights, bokeh. When you're out on the streets, you need to expose for, I'm getting ahead of myself. I get so excited about shooting. But another great idea is if there's lighting outside, so if there's street lights, look for storefronts or stuff that have windows that have light coming out, where there's shears or sheets or something that is diffusing the light. That's another great one to check out for Jack the Ripper shoot. That's another amazing thing to do. So you expose for the street lights, guys. Please understand me on this. You expose for the ambient. You expose for the street light. You expose for the bokeh. If you want to do like shots with cars going by, go to my. I'm telling you, go to my website, guys. I've categorized all of this to get ready for this event for you guys. We've been talking about doing this for quite a while with Rotolight. Now we're finally launching it. If you want to get cars going by, bokeh, and shoot with longer focal lengths if you can. And the reason longer focal lengths, if you're shooting bokeh, is very important is the longer focal lengths will increase the size of the bokeh and make it more a bigger part of the image, a more impactful part of the image. That's something that a lot of people don't really grasp. So if I'm shooting at a nighttime shot and there's car lights in the background, if I shoot that with a 35mm lens, the bokeh is going to be about this big. If I shoot it with an 85mm lens, the bokeh is going to go to here, and it's going to be such more of such a bigger variable and a dynamic in the image, and it's going to really create beautiful light. It's just beautiful work. So I hope that helps, guys. I'm not ending it right now. I'm going to answer some of your questions, but I'm just trying to really help. And I'm starting to see there's questions about, I'm starting to see questions that you guys are asking about some of the stuff I'm saying. So I really want to get into that with you guys. But I'm telling you, this is just about trying to give back and trying to help people get out there and create. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm very, very grateful to Rotolight. I mean, this is a huge expense on their part, and all you gotta do is join their Facebook group and post an image. it's crazy. That's all you have to do. So at any rate, guys, I'm gonna start getting into some of the questions now, and then we'll go from there. So the first Halloween shoot in New York City, yeah, that was a crazy shoot with the EOS and the Neo 2. Where in Florida are you? I'm currently in Tallahassee. Any recommendations on where we can rent Rotolights? You can actually rent Rotolights from Adorama. So if you're in this, if you happen to be in the States, I don't know if Adorama rents to people outside of the United States, but I know you can rent Rotolights from Adorama. So that's a great place if you don't want to buy them right now. Thanks for an awesome opportunity. How will you know if the lighting used is from a Rotolight? We need to prove we are using one. I will probably know if you have to give a description of what you do with the shot and how you created it. And I'm telling you, I will probably know if you lie. So don't be that guy. Don't be the person who gets busted for doping. How you expose for a street light. So if you're, this is another reason why people have a hard time with exposure. And just, I want to say something that really needs to be said. When people see my videos and they see that I shoot with a Rotolight at 400 ISO or 800 ISO, you guys understand that I would do that with a Godox, right? I would do that with a normal strobe, because that's actually how you set proper exposure. The vast majority of people who explain exposure don't do it right. That's just the damn truth. So especially when it comes to night photography, and that's why most night photography is so black and dull and colorless. If you want great color in your image, you always have to expose for the ambient, regardless of the lighting source. Truly, that's the truth. So you set your camera. So here's simple tip on manual exposure, my friends. If and when you're shooting with a Rotolight or any light at night, my settings are very simple. It's going to be 1/60th of a second with my shutter. It's going to, or high or faster, because if you go any lower, you're going to get blur in your image. Okay. And you may say, well, you have really steady hands, or I have in-body image stabilization with Sony, blah, blah, blah. Guys, it doesn't matter, because if you're shooting a person or anything that happens to be moving, they're going to be blurry. I don't care what anybody says. That's just the truth. So you're going to set your camera down to 1/60th of a second, not any slower. That's the first thing. Second thing is you're going to set your aperture to its widest aperture. Or maybe just narrow down one stop from there. So if you have an f1.4 lens, maybe go to 1.6 or 1.8. That's maybe what you go down. Now from there, you guys listen to me. You lock your settings in there. Don't move your settings. You don't need to. You don't need to. Okay, because if you move any of those settings, it's going to result in a higher than desired ISO. Okay, so once you're at 1/60th of a second, and then you go to f1.4, 1.8. From there, what you do is you just jack up that damn ISO and don't freaking sweat it. Go for it, baby. Thelma and Louise that bitch and go right off the edge of the cliff. It's okay. I'm giving you permission. It's okay. You're not going to die. Okay. Well, Thelma and Louise, did they die? I don't know. I never really watched that movie. I just remember when they went off the cliff, just from the trailers or whatever. Anyway, but what you're going to do is then jack up the ISO. So a lot of the times you're looking at 800 ISO, 1200 ISO. So to answer your question, you're going to move that ISO up and down until you start to bring out the colors and the lighting in the image. That is how you light for the ambient. It really is. So that's what I'm gonna tell you guys to do. Good point on the large bokeh, but how far behind your subject do you keep the bokeh source? It just depends. I did a shoot in San Diego where the cars were passing, and it just depends on how much you want that bokeh to be part of the image, part of your composition. Brake lights are fantastic. I love brake lights. Headlights typically give you a lot of lens flare. So here's another tip. Try to stay away from an area of shooting where headlights are going to come directly into the lens. That's going to be problematic. You can certainly use headlights, but you move off to the side. But brake lights are diffused enough to where it just gives you a beautiful red glow, So that's another tip that I hope helps you guys out there. What's the name of the Facebook group to post the image? Guys, go to my, it's just, I'm telling you, jasonlanier.com/competition. There's all the stuff there. There's a link there. It's super easy. Does it matter if the photos entered are watermarked? Not really. I don't care if they're watermarked or not. I really don't. But if if you watermark an image, Marte, don't make it like, don't ruin your shot. So I don't know why you would feel the need to watermark it, unless maybe it's one that you've already done. If you feel the need to do it and you want to do it, that's, I could care less. But don't ruin your image by like putting a huge, watermark. That would be my only feedback there. Just do the Pendleton and you're sure to win. Yes, that's true. That's true. For those who don't know what that is, Danny Pendleton is this beautiful older man who likes to shake his little tuchus over in Kentucky. I'm working during the webinar. Will it be replayed? Yes, it will. So we're going to record the webinar on Zoom, and then we are going to do that. Okay. Rotolight has a different look. It's easy to tell. Yes, it does. Bay Area Canine. That's my man, Steve. Can my coach help me? I think he will. Yes, they did die. A6000 after 5000 hit its granny. Yes, but you're not going to shoot at 5000 ISO. I mean, what are you shooting in a freaking, are you shooting in the, in the middle of a tunnel? I mean, you're shooting in a tunnel with no lights. That's another thing, guys. Please, for the love of goodness, if you're looking for a place to take shots, follow the light. Don't go to an area where there's no light. That's stupid. It makes no sense. This isn't a Sony a7S III video. You're not trying to prove how high the ISO can go. And even that, anybody who does an ISO video where there's no ambient lighting, it's not a really good video anyways, because you would never shoot in that circumstance anyways. That's moronic. So whatever you do, look for light. So if I walk outside right now, I take my butt right outside, which I'm going to do after that because I got to get my steps in. I'm only at 8,000 for the day. But if I go outside and I take a walk, I'm going to look for neon signs. I'm going to look for street lights. I'm going to look for gas stations. I'm going to look for anything that is big and illuminated, and I'm going to make that my background. So if you're looking for a dynamic background, look for lights. Look for lights. And once you look for those lights, your ISO is not going to go over 2,000, 2,500 max, because otherwise it would be overexposed. That's how you do it. With a 50 millimeter, which is 85 with crop at 1.8. Yes, that's true. What's actually not an 85, but yeah, it's what, a 50, 25, it's a 75. Do any of the images entered get used by Rotolight for anything outside the competition? Not if you guys don't want them to. I mean, it's meant to give you guys free, publicity and stuff, but they're not trying to get your shots to promote, they're not trying to steal your image. I know some competitions do that where they own the rights to your image. No, there's no stupid, moronic stuff happening like that. So don't worry about that. I mean, honestly, I would say I would want somebody to have my images and use them. I mean, I love when Rotolight uses my images and they use them all the time. So, but no, if there's nothing like shady going on, you'd have to worry about. Please repost this video later. Please repost. Okay. This video later so I can watch it after work. Absolutely. Hi, Italy. Hi from Italy, Jason. Hi, what's up, my man? Really enjoyed your video on how to set Kelvin on lights to match good skin tones. Well, what's up, Alan? You're more than welcome, brother. I'm really glad that it helped. Why did you choose the A7R3 over the A7 III? I know that the R3 not such good in low light. No, I use both. So I don't have a preference one over the other, to be honest with you. Thanks, Jason, for this opportunity and Rotolight. Absolutely. So, guys, this is also another way for Rotolight just to give back for you guys being so supportive of the videos that we post and what we do. And it goes to show you that they are watching and they do care about you guys. They really do. How do you set Kelvin in camera to be accurate? You use a gray card. Where's my gray card? It's over there somewhere. But if you guys go on and use a gray card, there's no better way. There's no more accurate way in the world to set your white balance. If you want to, here's how you set your white balance on a Rotolight. You guys want a tip? What you do is you take. There's a video I did in Hawaii with Emily on this. If you go to this is how I do it. So you can dispute this or not like it or whatever it may be, but this is how I do it. So if you like my work, this is how you do it. You go on and set your light. So I'll set my light and the color that I want on my subject. So I'll just move the color on my subject to the way that I want it. with the Rotolight. So there's 2 red buttons on the back of the Neo 2, the EOS, and the Nova Pro 2, and you move the color for those 2. Now from there, once I set it the way that I like it, in other words, visually I like the way that it looks on my subject, then I take my gray card and I have the subject hold the gray card, and then I set the white balance. And then now my camera matches the light, and it's perfection. It's gorgeous. It's simple. It takes 15 seconds. And once you learn how to do it, and it's super easy, I think I have a video on this. Like I said, Emmy and I did it in Maui. If you go to how to set skin tones, that's the name of the video. But again, that's in that Rotolight section on my website. It'll teach you guys how to do it. I'm really trying to do whatever I can to help you guys. I mean it. Artemis says, man, you have me sweating this. I really want that light. Go get it, baby. Go get it, Artemis. Go get it. I know how bad you want it. Guys, for those who don't know, Artemis, you know, he's a super fan, and I love him to death, but his face is always imprinted on any hotel that I stay in. Like my here's my window right here. If Artemis was here, Artemis, you're in Florida. I know you may have your Artemis may be outside my bedroom. He's kind of a stalker, but I love him. All jokes aside, no, Artemis is a great guy, but no, get out there, man. It's fantastic stuff. How do you set the gray card manually to set Kelvin? Do you use Sony, or do you use one of the more or one of the other systems? Sony has the most simple system to utilize gray cards. So let me articulate how you do it. So on Nikon and Canon, the way that you set your white balance with a gray card is you have the subject hold the gray card, and you take a picture. You take a picture of them holding the gray card, and then you go into the menu and you say manual white balance, or it's manual white balance, or set manual white balance on the system. And then what you do is you go through and you find that image, and then in that image the person is holding the gray card, and so then you zoom into it, you go click, and you click on that section of it, and boom, it sets your white balance. On Sony, see, that's a more reactive system. I've spoken about reactive versus proactive systems in Nikon and Canon. I'm not here to bash anybody. I could care less, but they have typically more of a reactive system. Sony's a more proactive system, where with the Sony system, the person holds the gray card, and then you go into the menu system under the white balance, and there's a button there, and it has like a pommel horse upside down or something like that. It looks like that, and you click on that, and that's a weird gymnastics reference, but it has like this, and you go and click on that, and then the person holds the gray card, and then you take your Sony and you hold the center button of the wheel. You hold that center button, and it goes click, and it fires a shot, and it sets the white balance. And then your white balance looks legit. It's awesome. So Arthur says, I missed the start of the stream. Will you leave this video up? Yes, this video is going to stay up. Absolutely. I'll be happy if I get a mention, brother. I mean that. Well, Ohio Inspire, here's your mention, baby. I love you. Mucho peace. Mucho peace. You can actually crash with Artemis and come stalk me. I know Artemis is into that. Artemis is like a super fanboy. Like, he is a super fanboy. It's really cute. DJ Kiri, super fanboy in New York. You are a super fanboy, DJ Kiri, and I love you. Recon, if you use Nikon, I just told you how to do it. That's how you do it. I love you. I love you too, James Handley. I love all of you guys. You guys are awesome. Any other camera systems are proactive? I don't know. The other systems are getting better, but right now my 2 favorite systems are Canon and Sony. And I'm on the Canon bandwagon. That doesn't mean I'm shooting Canon, you know, like I shoot Sony. I primarily shoot Sony, but I love the mirrorless lenses on the Canon system. The mirrorless lens, I'm not as big of a fan as the mirrorless cameras on the Canon system, but I love the lenses on the Canon system for the mirrorless. Holy shite. They're good. I thought white cards were for white balance and gray cards for exposure. Can you explain the difference? No, there's a white card, a black card, and a gray card, and you use those white, black, and gray cards specifically for different lighting scenarios. So if it's super bright outside, you'd use a black card. In normal circumstances, you'd use a gray, and if it's really dark, you'd use a white. It's just your camera's ability to pick up on the exposure levels to be able to expose for those different levels. So, but 95% of the time, a gray card's going to suffice. And keep this in mind too, my little chachito. If you're using proper lighting, you should always be using a gray card. You catch my drift? Because you should never be doing crap lighting to where it's way overexposed on your card. I have a model out here in Tallahassee, and just, classic me, we go to all the best places. I take the girls all to the best places, dumps. And so we found a little shack, looks like a moonshine place with huge tree with Spanish moss, just beautiful. She's wearing jeans and a white wife beater type of a deal. But then I pulled Spanish moss off of a tree, and I almost felt like I was committing a crime. But I pulled Spanish moss off of a tree, and then we found some looked like cotton. I don't think it was cotton, but it was something like that. And we put it all around her. We found a old Walmart white chair. Again, you guys, if you've ever shot with me, I am so organic. I just pick stuff up out of everywhere and start creating shots. And so then I broke, meaning I walked inside. I didn't break anything, but I went inside of the little shack, the moonshine shack, and found a shovel. So she has the shovel. Why did I even start talking about all this? Oh, I started talking about all this because I backlit her with the sun, and then I illuminated her from the front with light. So even if I were shooting in a very bright environment like I was today, I would still utilize proper lighting techniques, which would mean I would still use a gray card. Am I disqualified for living in Bakersfield? That's very funny. And you're almost disqualified, but no, Kelly, you are not. That's really funny. I love it. Come to Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Eric, what's up, Eric Rosa? What's up, baby? Do you like manual focus Loxia lenses? Not really. I don't like manual focus on, I love autofocus lenses. It's, to me, and this is just to me, guys, and you can take it for what it's worth, but to me, it's like asking me if I want to crank the start of an old Model T or if I just want to push button start my car. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. I just did my third paid shoot of the year. COVID has really beat up my business. Do you have any ideas for bouncing back past post-COVID? Yeah, this kind of stuff. Just keep creating. Have fresh content. If you're not creating content, you're going to be behind the 8 ball once COVID clears. So, if you guys think you have it bad over here in the United States, I've been talking to the folks over in the UK. It is really bad over there. They're on total lockdown. In the UK, if you get caught having meetings indoors, you can be fined $10,000. It's insane. So, I'm just saying, be grateful. So I would just say, I've been talking a lot about this, guys. If you haven't listened to one of my podcasts recently, my podcasts are exploding. They're blowing up. And so go to my podcast. I've been talking a lot about business, a lot about how to handle yourself during COVID and how to really set up your business for success in the future. Go to jasonlanier.com/podcast. Okay, would love to see you do a shoot down here in Florida at some of the springs while you're down there. Crystal clear water and the mandate are there now grouped up. Hot chicks and dirty warehouses is where it's at. You guys are funny. Yeah, I'll be back down. I'll be back here in Florida next month, so I'll be doing more shoots here in Florida. I love this. I love it here because I can shoot, I can play. Ohio Inspires is happy. Well, thank you, my man. Remember that shoot that with that white salt or whatever it was that looked like it gets in the gear? I've done a lot of shoots that could look like white salt, but it always gets in the gear. You guys want to know something funny today? I changed lenses and I had my R3 and my A9, and I was switching from the 35 Zeiss to the 20 Sigma today. And as I switched lenses, gosh darn it, I put my camera down and a gust of wind came over and all this grass flew inside of my A9. And now I'm trying to blow grass out and I'm doing a shoot. And I'm like, mother freaker. But c'est la vie, c'est la vie, baby. And so Sony Pro Services, thank you in advance for cleaning out my dirty ass sensor. So I did if you guys are part of Sony and you're not part of Sony Pro Services, you're missing out. They'll clean your stuff. I did a shoot in an old beat up warehouse with a gorgeous model a few weeks ago. I used cheap LED lighting, learned from that from you, Jason. My shots were pretty killer. That's awesome, Arthur. Great job, brother. You don't know me, but you don't like me. You don't know me, but you don't like me. Here in the streets of Bakersfield, Buck Owens. Okay. What's been your craziest travel so far dealing with COVID challenges? Oh my gosh. Fights on airplanes. Good grief. I mean, it's just, I think it's, here's the thing. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've traveled a hella. How do the kids say that? I've traveled hella. Isn't it easier to say I've traveled a hell of a lot during COVID? How would you say that? Somebody help me out on that. But I've traveled a hell of a lot during COVID, and I love it. I love it. I love COVID traffic. I love COVID parking. I love COVID freeways. I love COVID flying. I love COVID, except COVID restaurants really suck. And of course, the pandemic is awful. But from a travel perspective, COVID makes things pretty easy, to be honest. So two Zeiss Otis lenses have a meeting. That's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I want to help when you're in Florida. I'm in Florida now, Artemis. Right now, baby boy. Hi, dear. Beth here. Well, hi, Beth. Do we need to have a Rotolight in the photo take for the contest, like next to the subject? No, but really, if you guys are worried about us believing whether or not your shot is a Rotolight taken image, I would highly recommend you take your finished shot and then take 2 or 3 steps backwards, take a production image with your Rotolight and in the shot, and then just post both the shots. I think that's actually what you should do. In fact, I'm going to pretty much mandate that's what you should do, because when I have a lot of folks asking about it, it means that there's a concern that somebody could manipulate the Sistemo. So that would probably be a great idea. So let's have you guys do that. Can you give me a camera, please? No. Do you like your R3 better than the R4? Yes. I don't like the focus on the R4. Emmy and I did a shoot in Gary, Indiana. And the R4 was not focusing well. Sony gave it to me and they said, hey, test it out, see what you think. And didn't like the focus on it. And so I said, here, you guys, here you go, take it back. And thank you kindly. But no, I don't use it for that reason. I will reach out to you soon for our wedding. We haven't decided on the date yet, but it'll be in Connecticut. Please do. Please do. I'd love to be able to shoot your wedding. That'd be awesome. Millennials speak DUMB. Well, I'm not going to make fun of millennials because they are beautiful people too. But I don't know. I think let's just be real. Every generation has its morons. I mean, all of them do. We all have our own unique set of challenges. I think that's the truth. I'm in Tallahassee and off tomorrow. Need any help tomorrow? I will let you know, Terry. It just depends. See, here's the thing. It's hard for me to tell people where I'm going to be. So as an example, today when we left the hotel, got in the car, and I said, let's just drive around. And we drove around until we find stuff, abandoned shacks, abandoned everything. So it's hard to tell people where we're going to be. So when somebody's like, hey, you were here, you didn't tell me you're going to be here, I really don't know what I'm going to be doing. You can ask any of the models, any of the people, any of the volunteers, ask Artemis, ask any of these people that have ever worked with me. It is so organic. You guys really have no clue when you're watching these videos. Most people set up videos and they've set up a script and an outline, and they are so scripted and so fake. And mine are literally just, hey, there's a shack. Ask anyone who shot with me if this is the truth. It'll be like, oh, there's a shack. All right, cool. Take a couple pictures. Yeah, this will make a cool video. All right, set up a couple video cameras. Let's go. That's how my shoots come. It's very rare that I'm like, oh, let's do a big, huge planned out shoot, because I love putting YouTube videos out, but I also love shooting more. So that's what we do. I don't have a Rotolight, not yet anyway. Go rent one, baby. Can you use a Neo 2 and a Westcott Halo? Yes, I approve. Because I'm the one who saved the Westcott Halo from being discontinued, or at least I sold a lot of them. I don't have a Rotolight yet. For shots already taken, it would be difficult to get production shots. Just a thought. Yes, that is very true, Marte. So again, if we really question the validity of it, then we would go from there. But I think you guys are good folks. But you're right. You're right about that. Okay, brother, here's a question for you. How do you deal with flashlight cops? I keep getting booted from locations, and of course, it's all the good spots. So frustrating. Flashlight cops. I don't know what you mean by that, brother. I'm not sure what you mean by flashlight cops, but let me know. I keep getting booted from locations. Of course, it's all the good spots. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Glad you said that because I have R3 and always wondered about R4. Yeah, don't spend the money. How to become a better photographer? Shoot, mess up. Shoot, mess up a little less. Shoot, mess up a little less more, or a little less, and stop messing up. That's how you do it. We spoke about that on my recent podcast, jasonlinder.com/podcast. Tell you guys, those podcasts are chock full of great information. Yeah, jasonlinder.com/competition. Yours look more authentic too. It shows. Thank you. Yeah, you guys have no idea how much my shoots are just. Ask any of the folks. Ask Steve. Ask Artemis. Ask any of the people who are on here who have been to one of my shoots. It's way different. It's way different. I can't stand it. Jason, be good. I can't stand the fake stuff. It's been so hard for me because they got all these huge views and everything else. I can't take it. I can't do it. It just drives me nuts. If you could only carry one prime lens, which one would you bring? That's tough, dude. You're a little mother freaker for asking me that. It'd probably be an 85. Probably the 85. Because I can back up if I need to with an 85 to get that an environmental portrait if I need to. And in fact, I did that today. There's this old car graveyard here in Crawfordville, Florida. That's where I shot a lot today. Crawfordville. Check this out. This is when you know you're in the deep south, right? I was in Crawfordville, Florida, but guess what this town next to it is? This is straight out of a movie. It's called Sop Choppy, okay, Florida. So that's where we shot today. And so, but I was shooting the model Anna on a old car graveyard. There's about 30 cars, really cool. Shot her on the old car graveyard, and then went and I shot it with a 35, first a 20, then 35, and then I put the 85 on the G Master, and I took about 20 steps back and I shot the whole car. The purpose was to actually show you guys a comparison on how using compression makes a difference in your shots. So that would be why I would use the 85 if I could only have one, because I can get further back if I need to. However, if I need to do headshots and stuff like that, the 35 as a comparison, a 35 would give me more of a distorted face if I were to do just headshots with the 35. So I have more flexibility with an 85 if I could only use one prime lens. I think that was a pretty decent response. I have two Neos, but not Neo 2. Can I still win the type? Yes, you can. Yeah, you go ahead and you can use the RL48s. You can use any Rotolight light. Okay. Neo, RL48s, if you guys don't know what that is, that's like the first version of them from all time. Okay, that's when I first met Rotolight in general. It's called the interview kit, the RL48s. I mean, they really got better at their names because the RL48, that just sounds like R2D2 or something. But the RL48s, the Neo 1, Neo 2, EOS, Anova Pro 2, Titan X1, and Titan X2. So you can use any of those lights to create your masterpiece, and I will choose who wins. Edward Torres says, well, this sucks. I'm out of the contest. No roto. Hi from Coachella. Dude, I'm in Coachella quite a bit. Not to do drugs like most people, but I like shooting in that area. So go rent a Rotolight, baby. Go rent a Rotolight. Security. Oh, the flashlight cops, security guards. Well, I just hide really well. I really do. I hide really well. Even my, my hip. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm kicking butt. I mean, I'm really walking a lot. So I'm getting even more good. I'm even more good. Talk about bad English. I'm even getting better at hiding. It's great. You knew I'd pick an 85. Yeah. Yes, he is amazing how he just comes up with the stuff he does. He will wear you out, though. Jason has lots of energy. Yes, I wear out everyone. Truly. Every model that's ever worked with me, they're conked out and just knocked out. They cannot keep up. And even the dudes, nobody can keep up with your boy here. I got so much energy. Junkyards are great to shoot. Lots of them won't let you sneak a camera in now, though. Junkyards are great to shoot. Artemis has a great junkyard. He has a great one. Where's that located, Artemis? He probably doesn't want to say. He's probably going to be a little secret, a little boy right there. You're in Destin. Yep. Passed right through Pensacola, Destin area. Yep. I have some pics to enter using the Neo 2 and the EOS. That's awesome, Kirk. Do it, baby. My first and favorite video I saw from your channel was the wedding photos by the ocean. You're super talented inspiration. Thank you. It's very kind of you. LOL Sop Choppy. Yes, that is a real town. Welcome to North Florida. Yes, it is. I went to a workshop a few years ago held by a well-known photographer. It sucked because there were so many people I couldn't get questions answered. I've learned more from your videos than ever. Awesome. And I really appreciate that. And that's why when I do workshops, I don't have 1 million people. I don't like it. And why do I do my workshops the way that I do them when damn COVID's not around? I do my workshops where I do them because I remember when I was a new photographer and I would go and there's like 50, 100 people. I'm like, this is stupid. I can't ask a single question. So that's why I do it the way that I do. And I'm really happy to hear that. I take photos for a local fire department at fires. I use the Nikon D7100. I wear eyeglasses with bifocals. Iowa cold weather glasses fog up and I can't see any camera buttons. Any suggestions? Oh, I wear eyeglasses with bifocals. Iowa cold weather. Ooh, that's a really good question. That's tough. I know I can clearly see what you're articulating. Poke holes in the goggles. I'm not trying to be funny, but you got to get some air in there. But then if you poke holes, the smoke's going to get in there. That's quite a conundrum. That's a tough one. Let me think on that. Let me cogitate on that. The Neo needs an adapter plate inserted in the back with a V-mount fix. Additionally, with a smaller 32-watt battery for better handling and laying Neos on the back to light a ceiling to diffuse light. That is a good, yeah, give me a thumbs up. That'd be great. Thank you. Hope you like pics. That's a great suggestion, Winnie. And I am currently speaking about Rotolight about future products. So in development stage, there's nothing coming out right now, guys. So, but we're talking about all that cool stuff. T. Jones says, how do we enter the contest? JasonLanier.com/competition explains everything. JasonLanier.com/competition. Dude, guys, please listen to my podcast. I'm putting so much of my heart in there, and it is good stuff. Please go listen to the podcast. Charles Burke says, hi, Dwayne. Andrew Button, I have a 3-piece bikini, upper, lower, and mask. Okay. Exactly. This guy had around 150 at his workshop. It was a waste of time and money. Arthur, how much did you pay for that workshop? I'm curious. Guys, anytime there's something like that, you're not going to learn anything, or very little, I should say. Can you only use that Westcott 6-foot diffuser for the sun? When else could you use something like that? That's a really good question, Recon. Guys, I use those big, and that's actually not a Westcott. I use a Lastolite. It's a Lastolite diffuser. And I use those all the time. I use those all the time for city lights. I use them all the time. I'll set up a Rotolight, for example, and a Nova Pro 2 and EOS. I'll set that, and then I'll have somebody hold that huge diffuser between my subjects. So here's the person, here's the light. Okay, person, light, diffusers in the middle, and it's an incredible way to light, and that is how Hollywood lights. It's awesome. Jason, he shoots fine out in Iowa, fogged glasses and all. Oh, good. I really like these two cameras, a Sony A7 III and the Nikon Z6. Have you worked with the Z6? What is your opinion? Which camera is better? The A7 III. Yeah, the Z6, the focus system is not as good as the A7 III. Canon and Nikon do not have focus systems that are on par with Sony as of yet. So that is the big just read a comment. That is a big difference between Canon, Nikon, and Sony is the focus system. Adam Relayson, who is a friend but also a troll, says, I listen to your podcast when I'm having trouble sleeping. I'll say it again. Adam is the only person I've ever had come to a workshop who took off his own sweaty shirt and handed it to the model and asked her to wear it, and she did. I was shocked. I was shocked Adam did that, but he did. So as long as he wants to troll me on my channel, and I love Adam and he knows I love him, I'm going to keep telling that story. And I have pictures to prove it happened. So it it was a moment I'll never forget for the rest of my life. I paid $500. What? Arthur, you paid $500 for a workshop that had 150 people there? He had two assistants, one to help him directly, and the other was a grunt carrying around equipment. There was almost no one to help. Dude, that is a rip off. Not my workshops, 10, 15 people max. We don't play stupid games like that. What a freaking rip off. Man, that kind of crap makes me so angry, because you're really taking advantage of people who are really looking to you and really look up to you, and you just take their money and you use and abuse them. That's awful. I just saw somebody blow a shoot because of a Sigma Art lens. Opinion? I love the Sigma Art lenses. So I shoot with the 20 millimeter Sigma Art lens more often than not. That's on my camera. So I have nothing but great things to say about the Sigma Art lenses, baby. Thanks, man. It really helps. You're welcome. Adam says I'm lying. Not lying. Not lying at all. So when is the RGB coming to the Neo? Oh, I'm sure that just like any sort of technology, you know, the stuff will trickle down to the later iterations of other lights. But, you know, you guys obviously understand that, of course, things take time. So I don't know, to be honest with you. Video is getting sop choppy. I think the focus system is the fast on Nikon Z6 if you set it to half the focus points. That's kind of ridiculous to have to do that. Nobody beats Sony's focus system as of right now, and that is the main reason Sony is still my camera of choice. If Canon, well, I should be careful, but I mean, if Canon's focus, I love Canon's lenses. So, yeah, it's awesome. Adam says, okay, wait. Artemis says, that junkyard is in Plant City, Florida at Gillespie's Auto. Did you ever finish the edit of the owner? I did, Artemis. And see, what a cool guy Artemis is. He just tells everyone where this really cool junkyard is. So Artemis may be a stalker and, you know, put kisses on my window with his breath, but man, he is a cool guy. And so I'm very proud of you, Artemis. Artemis hooked me up. Okay. Let's be real. Artemis hooked me up. And he said, Jason, I know of this junkyard. And he took me there. And it was these older gentlemen who are perverts, but they were still really cool. And they're unabashed perverts. Like they have their business card is perverted. But anyway, we did a shoot there. And like they're like 80 years old. It's really hilarious. And they are as country as it gets. But we did a really cool shoot there. That wouldn't have happened without Artemis. So I'm very grateful to him. But it's really good stuff. Did I finish the edit of the? Yes, and I will send those to you, Artemis, so you can give those to the gentleman. The only person sweating was you after you saw me shirtless. There was no sweat left after you took your shirt off, Adam, because there was so much sweat on your shirt. You practically, you drenched the model with your sweat. Facts. I had no idea about workshop stuff. I had been in the music industry for years, so I wanted to make a change and have a very few well-known music photographer friends. I wanted to take a new direction. Come to one of my workshops. That's where you'll really learn. I actually make people work at my workshops. It's funny. Do you guys realize that most workshops, all they do is set everything up for you guys? I went to a workshop for, what's this dude's name? Oh, I would tell you guys what's his name? It starts with an R. I can't remember. I really can't. Anyway, I went to a workshop when I was a new photographer. Rolando Gomez. Yeah, that's his name. I went to a workshop for him when I was a brand new photographer. Flew from LA to Atlanta. Went out there, did a workshop. He set it up in this house, this mansion, and he set up 4 or 5 different rooms. It was with pro photo gear. All he did was have triggers on the walls. He had settings for what you should set your camera to on the walls, post-it on like a piece of paper. And he sat in the living room with his friend, and then these models were wearing like sexy clothes, and they just posed for you. There was zero instruction. I was furious. This was 12 years ago I did this. And I said, this is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? Why did I fly all the way out here, spend money on airfare, hotel, rental car, food, not to mention the registration of the workshop? And then you know what he did at the end? He didn't tell anybody. But at the end, he got all of us together. And this is at the end of the workshop. He says, hey, by the way, guys, if you want to use any of the shots, you have to pay each model a $50 to $100 licensing fee. What? So it's okay if you can't use the shots, but tell. And then at the end, you want to charge us extra to use the shots that we just took when you didn't say that the whole time. And now you're just trying to get out of paying the models by having us pay them for you. What a piece of crap. That's why I don't do that garbage at my workshops. If you guys want a real workshop, all of my workshops are portfolio building. You can use all of the images you take at my workshops. There's no games. And I make you work at a workshop. When you come to me and say, hey, Jason, I can't set what's wrong with my camera? You know what 90% of photographers do because they want you out of their face? And this is the truth. 90% of photographers look at your camera, the instructor, they'll take it, they'll fix it, say, hey, go shoot. Because they want you out of their face. What do? Straight up. You come to me at one of my workshops and you're like, hey, it's not looking right. And I'll say, okay, now what do you need to do to fix that? Well, I need to raise my shutter up. Well, why would you do that? I'm going to help you get there because the whole goal of my workshop is for you to be able to leave the workshop and actually be better. Imagine that. I know it's a novel concept, but I actually want you to be better. I'm teasing Artemis to death, but Artemis has been to, how many Artemis have been to 2 or 3 workshops maybe? How many Artemis you've been to, 2 or 3? Dude, the guy's, he's crushing it. Anybody who's been to my workshops, they get freaking better. Because I really push you to get better. So don't go to workshops unless they're really going to make you better. It's ridiculous. I can't stand it when young, impressionable photographers, and young is not a matter of age, it's a matter of experience in the photography field, when young photographers get bamboozled by these crooks. I don't have big, huge things. I don't have like 5, 10 stations laid out where you guys just go do your own thing, and I'm just sitting back there on my phone. Ask anybody who's been to one of my workshops. Am I ever on my phone? Ask them. Artemis, am I ever on my phone? Steve, anybody who's been there, guy, I don't do that. Wayne, I don't do that. I work and I make you work. I can't stand lazy people. I hate them. Oof. All right. No. All right. I had no idea about workshop. Okay. Hey, Jason, new photographer and subscriber here. Well, thank you, Primetime Gaming. I really appreciate your expertise and authenticity in your videos. Thank you. I don't currently have a light. Any recommendations for beginner decent lights? I'd get a Neo 2. That would be my humble recommendation to you. Truly, I'd get a Neo 2. When is your next workshop near Coachella, like the Salton Sea? Edward, you know I love the Salton Sea. If you hung out there, probably find me at one point or the other. I'd be out there. But we need to get them scheduled. And as soon as all this damn COVID stuff clears, and I say that in all humility, I know that it's affected people from a real standpoint. I mean, so I say that with sympathy and compassion. But as soon as all this clears, I'm going to put out a schedule, and we're going to make it very aggressive to get out there and help people. Really, truly, I want that to be the case. That diffuser work in Jekyll Island was beast. Yes, it was, baby. Ask anyone who's been to my workshops. It's unlike anything you will ever do, and you will learn more than you will ever learn anywhere else. I've had people come to my workshops who tell me, I've been in photography school for 2 years, and I learn more in 2 days with you. Yeah, that's right. Welcome to the master class, baby. All of my photography has been concert, and it wasn't until a few weeks ago I wanted to try different styles. I'm definitely down for one of your workshops. I will work my guts out. Yeah, that's right, baby. What was the password to that house? Which house? You talking about like an Airbnb? Good night, Jason. I need to jump. Good night, Eric. Did you have say Fidelio? No, I did not. What are your tips for super sharp photos, day or night, all things considered? Good lighting. Good lighting helps your camera acquire better focus. And then, use eye autofocus, use facial recognition. If you were shooting hot chicks playing checkers or chess during a workshop, would there be games? Um, if I were shooting hot chicks playing chess or checkers, there'd be a purpose to the image. To me, it just can't be boobs and butts. I mean, most guys like boobs and butts. Get over it. Be more. So you want to make a sexy shot, that's fine. If I mean this, if I post a shot and I put somebody and a bunch of cleavage and a bunch of everything else, and it gets 5,000 likes on Instagram, but I know that we're proud of, and that I know has artistic vision and storytelling in it, and it gets 2,500 likes, give me the 2,500. You'll remember my work. Those other people who are into boobs and butts, sellouts, fads, one-hit wonders. That's a fact. He's not lying, folks. Great workshop. Thank you, T. Jones. Thank you, baby. Jason had me use all my equipment. I volunteered the equipment, of course, and no, he says stay, and he stays off the phone. Yeah, I do. I will say Jason makes you do your own shot and gives you advice on improving. That's right, Neil, I do. You come to me, I will help you, but I will not do it for you, because guess what? That's just simple instruction. I've instructed so many people in my life in hotel industry and now in photography. And I don't say this in a condescending manner, but I have triplets. I have 3 boys. I have triplet sons. If I do everything for my sons, does that help them learn? Or if I help them figure the problem out, then they can do it on their own. It's about, I don't want to fish for you boys or girls or men or ladies. I want to teach you to fish. I mean that. It really means a lot to me. I'm very fortunate to have been published a few times and shot big bands, but comfort photography is limited. Yeah, it is. This is why I need your workshop. I'm all about pushing myself to do more. That's awesome, Arthur. I want to take another workshop with you, buddy. I really want to practice the flash mode on the Rotolight. Bring it, Artemis. Bring it. I need to have some. I think I can feel his breath outside my window. I'm serious. Just wanted to say thank you for Jason offers on Rotolight. I was able to afford the EOS and the Neo 2 with the trigger for a great price. I'm loving my new LEDs. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, guys, if you guys want deals on any of these Rotolights, go to Jason Lanier or go to rotolight.com/Jason offers. Truly, they're the best deals on the Rotolights you can find on the planet. My man Steve from Bay Area Canine Associate and Jason, your workshops are the bomb. You guys, you see people coming on who have been to my workshops. They're still here. If I'd ripped them off, they wouldn't be back. My workshops are legit, for real. Any recommendations on fighting the sun with the EOS? Yeah, put your subject in the shade. Now, before any of you say what I can anticipate somebody saying, oh, that must mean it's not very powerful. Okay, I shoot strobe. Even though I shoot Rotolight, I still shoot normal strobe. Guess what I did today? I shot normal strobe just to mix it up for my channel. I shot normal strobe, and the sun was really coming in hard on my model. Okay, so even with a normal strobe, I brought the model. There's this huge tree with Spanish moss. I brought the model around to the tree, and there's that shack in the back, and I brought the model around, and I put her in the shade, and then I illuminated her. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see this shot. This was really cool. Before I even did that, the sun was hitting her really hard, and it was really putting a hard specular highlight on the side of her face where the sun was coming in. So I had the strobe coming in on this way, and it just, even though this was proper illumination here, and if you've been to my workshops, I tell you this on my workshops too, even though the strobe was coming in and illuminating her, that hard light was coming in, and it put such a hard highlight, it didn't matter what I did with the strobe. So when people talk about power of light, they don't really understand ratios. They don't understand you cannot have hard-ass light coming in on your subject and just think you're going to crush it with a ton of strobe light. It's idiotic. Okay, so it's not cotton, it's not, but it's something like it. I don't know what it was, but I had her pick up all these bushels, because if you've been to my workshops or whatever, you'll know that I put all that stuff. So she put stuff in her hair, she put it in her shirt, in her pockets of her jeans, whatever else. And I was getting that hard light, and I couldn't really diffuse it. So it was a really cool idea. What I did was I had her pick up the bushel, and I had her put it, and then she put it right here next to her face, and she posed with it. But then when she posed with it, it put shade and it blocked the sun. It was really cool. That is how you work light. So when people say, oh, you know, it must not be that much. Or if you have to use a diffuser, you don't have to use the diffuser. You need to use a diffuser. You get my point? Oh, it must be weak if you have to use a diffuser. No, you're supposed to use a diffuser and or cut light. That's called proper photography, and it's how Hollywood lights. I'm going to say it again. Who lights better, Hollywood or normal just photographers? Hollywood or normal just photographers? Hollywood. So I choose a light like Hollywood. Anyway, I need to find out where I can rent a Rotolight now. Go to Adorama. You can rent them from Adorama. Rotolight told me that themselves. One time I was shooting a model with the EOS and I could see the center unit spot on the EOS on my model. In other words, it left a dark round spot on my model. What am I doing wrong? That is interesting. I've never had that. You'd have to send me a shot of that, Kirk. I'd love to see it, to be honest. I've shot the EOS a ton of times. Go to look at my website. Go to that rotolight.com or jasonlanier.com/Rotolight, and it has all the lights there. I've never seen that. So that I'd be very interesting to see that. Hi, Jason. I've met a couple of times at Rotolight events in the UK and hope all is going well for you. Can you share any strategy for pricing one-to-one tuition and group workshops based in London, UK? So Andrew, are you talking about what you would teach? Like how I could help you understand how to price your workshops? Is that what you mean? Let me know and I'll give you some feedback. John Harris says, love the podcast, brother. Keep them coming. When is the Everglades video coming? Oh, my man, John. What's up, John? John, help me in the Everglades. I know that's a great shoot. That's a great shoot. And that's an example of what I was referencing earlier about boobs and butts. I have no problem with the sexy, not raunchy. I don't like raunchy, but I have no problem with the sexy video or a sexy shoot, but it should have a reason, a purpose. So like that shoot was so fun because the model Maria, beautiful girl. If I call her a lady, she gets mad at me, I learned. So I call her a girl. She's definitely over 18, but if I call her a lady, she gets in trouble. And if you guys think I'm kidding, go listen to podcast episode 11, because I interviewed her and I called her a lady and I got in trouble. But anyway, we shot Maria in the Everglades in alligator infested waters, which was fun. And we put beer can rollers. We found beer cans and we put rollers in her hair. We put suspenders on her. And yes, I mean, she has a tighter shirt and she looks great, but we had a fishing rod. There was a point to the shoot. It wasn't just about, here's boobs, here's butts. One hit wonders, 1 year wonders. I'm in for the marathon, not the sprint. I still have the first signature series and Neo K signed by you. Oh, that's awesome, Artemis. I love that. I remember when you had me sign that. That's awesome, dude. I love that. Does anybody use gobos anymore? I'm old school world with stuff like that. I don't think there's a lot of people using that stuff anymore. Arthur says using a diffuser is a must. It is. Anti-social picture, my man. I love my man Angel. This is Whispers, the clown, if you guys don't know. Jason's workshops are the real deal. You get out what you put in. Yep. I've been around most of the famous YouTubers, and Jason is always pumping out invaluable insight. Can't say the same for the others. Thank you. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Joey Lozano, when are you in LA for a workshop? I'm going to launch these workshops as soon as COVID lifts. But the reason I'm not launching any workshops now is they changed the parameters. Just like our dumbass governor, Newsom. I hate him. Most people do hate him. I could care less if you're Republican or Democrat. But honestly, after that idiot went and broke his own rules for eating and socializing and social distancing, I lost any modicum of respect that I had for him. So he keeps just changing the rules. So I could schedule a workshop and then say, okay, we're good to go. And then they could cancel it. Now I'm on the hook. I'm just waiting for everything to clear. And that sucks for me. It sucks for me financially because I haven't had any workshops for 6 months. And even then I had to cancel the vast majority of my workshops. I canceled workshops for Australia and Italy and Paris. And it was awful. So thanks, Jason. Yes, I started teaching during lockdown. I went very well. Been shooting full time for the past 6+ years, and given the restrictions to shoot, I will look at other revenue streams. Yeah, if you can teach, do it. Again, just look at your level of experience, match it up with other people who are teaching, and I would recommend, trying to come in competitively priced. But it sounds like you're doing great. The better your vision, the better your lighting. you can make damn near anything sexy, even dreams. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. What do you recommend, the softbox or the illuminator for the Rotolight EOS? Oh, the illuminator. I would recommend the illuminator. You know what would be, well, I would, let me put it this way. I'd recommend the softbox if you are shooting in more adverse conditions. Because the softbox, in order to use the softbox, you have to use the barn doors. And if you use the barn doors with the softbox, it's more sturdy. It's also less, what's the word? It's less susceptible to being moved around by the wind. Anytime you use an umbrella-based modifier like the illuminator, if it's windy or whatever outside, they can be really problematic. So it depends on where you live and what you're doing. But other than that, yeah, it's great stuff. You know what would be a cool workshop? Hot chicks with wood saws and chisels and stuff actually in an actual workshop. Yeah. You're big into hot chicks, Andrew, which is great. But again, I get it. I get it. You know, we're men. Not all of us are, but we're men, but we like attractive ladies. But I would just say, I don't know how to say this, but you know, we as men have to get over it. And yes, they're beautiful women, but so what? Be more, you know? So I understand that, but tell a story. And I promise you this, if you look back at your work, do you just want to be the guy who shoots a bunch of hot chicks? Maybe you are. Or do you want to be a guy who, when I look at my shots, I'm like, is this more of a Norman Rockwell kind of a thing? Or is it more of a, which is timeless? Or is it more of a Maxim? So I'm not into that. If you want to shoot that stuff on your own, I have no problem with that. Like girlfriends, whatever, that is totally different. That's just a whole different thing. But when you talk about your professional work, to me, I want my professional work to reflect something that's more timeless rather than just, yeah, raunchy. Nobody, not even Jason, could make clowns look good. Nobody. Oh, I do. I do make clowns look good, bitch. You better believe I do. Ask Angel. I made Angel look amazing. Hi, sir. I'm Hitesh Pavar in India, and 5D Mark for user tips. So for sharp photography, if you're really struggling with sharp photography using a camera like that, then I would really recommend going to a faster shutter speed and a more narrowed down aperture if you're having a problem. Hey, Jess, hello from India. Please do regular YouTube video from portrait post-processing. Thanks and Happy New Year. Thank you, brother. I do all of my editing on Patreon. I don't do any of it anywhere else but Patreon. So if you want to learn more about editing, you have to go onto my Patreon channel, patreon.com/Jason Lanier Photography. Thanks for answering my questions. God bless. Have a great New Year's. I have to go to work tonight. Good night, buddy. Stories by Kalanjal Photographer. Hi, sir. Well, hello. The Ballroom Photographer says, I had a number of free photo shoots that turn into other paying photo shoots. What is your mix of free photo shoot versus paid gigs, and what is a good ratio? That's interesting because a lot of my photo shoots now are based on providing content to YouTube, to social media, to so on and so forth. So I have a different revenue system now because I do YouTube and I do workshops and I do, you know, paid content for Rotolight or paid content for other folks. So it just depends. But, you know, right now during COVID, I mean, there's very, very little paid work. Let's just be real. There's very little paid work. So I don't know. I think for most photographers, at the bare minimum, you need to try to do at least 50-50 and use the 50% of shoots that you do for free for teaching yourself and practicing. Do the models you shoot come from agencies? No, I hate agencies. Or are they people you know and work for a price? How much would you say to pay models for shoots? I always leave it up to the models. The models usually choose to get my images in exchange for my time. Some photographers lose their complete bowel system when they hear me say that. You're Jason Lanier. How dare you not pay the models? They don't want it. They want my shots. Do you know how much I would charge them to build their portfolio? Let's just think about that for a minute. Do you know how much I would charge a model if she said, hey, build my portfolio for me? Okay. Well, if you want X amount of shoots, it's going to cost you $10,000. Oh, hell no. Will you just Can I get your shots if I shoot? Yeah, okay. So if a model wants pay, no problem. But if a model wants pay, then I don't give her shots. If a model wants the images, she gets the images. How much do I normally pay a model? It just depends. I hate working with agencies because agencies are too restrictive. And again, back to what I said earlier on the way that I shoot, so much of what I do is now it's like I'm doing a road trip with Anna. Okay, so Anna's in the next room over. I'm doing a road trip with Anna, and Anna, like I said, we just hop in the car and we drive around and shoot. I did a road trip with Maria 2 weeks ago. We just hopped in the car and drive around and find places to shoot. Agencies, where are you shooting? Where are you going? Why don't you just blow it out your, I don't want to hear it. I want to mess with it. And I'm experienced enough where anybody. And so the other thing I'll say is if you work with a model who's very experienced, which there are some amazing models, the only problem is when you work with some of them, what ends up happening is they do the work for you if you're a newer photographer. And then what ends up happening is you're not really practicing your posing. So you having to pose the models makes a big difference. And that's one of the main reasons I still do what I do. And you working with models that don't have a lot of experience, you try to pose a bride and you're waiting for her to do what a model would do, guess what? She ain't gonna do it. But if you're working with regular people and you're having to force yourself to learn to pose and direct, then when you go to shoot a wedding, boom, you're golden. That's what I've always done. It's been a big recipe to my success. And that's what I recommend to other photographers out there. But how much would I pay them? I don't know. If we scheduled a 3-hour shoot, $50 an hour, $150, that's fair to me. And when everybody says, oh, that's cheap. Oh, I get paid $300-$400 an hour. No, you don't. Okay. You don't. That's number one. Number two, do you know how much Hollywood pays extras? Do you know how much Hollywood pays you to do this stuff? We're talking the multi-billion-dollar companies. They pay people peanuts. They pay them like $50, $60 for a 12-hour shift. I'm not kidding. So don't tell me that $50 an hour to somebody is bad. It's not. Do you know what if you annualized $50 an hour out, how much of a salary that would be? That's 6-figure income. People need to really get their heads sewn on straight. Good Lord. My favorite shot of yours is the wedding. Great question, Joey. My favorite shot of yours is the wedding shot with a broken down VW and the bride is starting to tear up the just married sign. Thank you. That was about 7-8 years ago. And that was a model. And then I ended up shooting the wedding for them. And it was easy. I end up doing that for a lot of models that I end up working with. I always tell them, hey, if you get married, call me up. And it's so funny. I kid you not. If you guys look back to my videos, 5 years ago, I shot a girl in Detroit named Alexa. And it's an older video. This is maybe 6 years ago. And it's in the Fisher Body plant. And it's a night video. And I used flash. And there's a door that we stood in the middle of the Fisher Body plant. And then I shot Alexa, and beautiful shoot. Well, just out of the random, she went onto my website. It was really cute. She went onto my website, and maybe she lost my phone number. I don't know, but she went on my website and filled out a contact form and said, Jason, you probably don't remember me. And you probably were joking because I know you're X, Y, and Z, but you said you would shoot my wedding. Were you serious? And so I looked at my phone. I'm like, dude, I still have her number. So I text her and I'm like, she goes, you don't even remember me. I'm like, yeah, I do. You're the girl who did this. She's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So we're having a Zoom on this Saturday to talk about her wedding, which I think is really cool. All right. Not a hot chick down clown, Jason. I meant a real balloon tying train wreck alcoholic clown. I would love a shoot like that. Hells yeah. And by the way, the shoot of Angel, it's not Angel as in a girl, it's Angel as in a dude. Andrew A, feed with nothing but gratuitous hot girls is like a comedy with only fart jokes. That's so true. It's funny, but it's a cheap crutch and highly forgettable. Yep, it is, and it is, and it gets boring. Being established has definitely helped in finding a different avenue for financial stability. It does. When you're coming back to South Florida, I'm working out days with Maria right now, but and Anthony, I'm trying to work things out with him too. But I was probably going to be third or probably like January. Ooh, that's the inauguration. I forget. I have to go shoot the inauguration of whoever it's going to be, probably Biden. So Maybe I'll do it after that. That's interesting. I just remembered that. If you want to make money, people should be asking, how'd you make that shot? Not what's her IG. Yeah, exactly. Video getting stop choppy again. Sorry about that. Can't do anything about it. I'm at a hotel. Yep, Hollywood pays next for nothing. I've seen it in action. Yep. Do you think that you could get someone to edit all of your footage that you haven't made use of yet and pump out a bunch of videos like one a day? We could, but I don't want to pay someone to do that. I'm not making out with Koa going on. So why? So I hear you. I hear you, and I appreciate that. You want to see the work, and I want to get it out, but I'm not paying somebody to do that. Speaking of videos, Jason, does your Patreon have any tips for shooting video or just photography? I've decided to start doing more video with my Sonys for 2021 and would really like to know more. The great thing about the Patreon channel, Paul, is we have a Q&A session every month, but we're on Zoom, so you're asking me face to face. So you can ask me any and all questions, and you can ask anyone who's ever been on my Patreon channel. I don't stop. I just keep going until you're out of questions. It's really incredible. So I'm telling you guys, if you really want to learn, go to patreon.com/Jason Lanier Photography. I love the shoot you did, and I do answer questions about video on there. People ask a lot of questions about video. I love the shoot you did at Oceanside with the big waves around the newlyweds. Did that soaked camera survive? Yeah, something broke out of that, but that was a long time ago, but something broke out of that. But what else is new? All right, guys. I am going to call it a night. It is now 10:30 in the evening here on the East Coast. I thank you guys so much. Go to jasonlanier.com/competition. I'm at 8,000 steps today. I have gone 15 days in a row with 10,000 or more steps. So I got to walk my butt outside and I got to get some steps in. So I'm very proud of myself. My hip. Oh, something that was really cool. I'll share this in brief. This will not be a big deal to anyone but me, but I crossed my legs for the first time in my adult life. Forgive me, when I was a kid, we called it sitting Indian style. I know now they call it, or at least my kids call it, crisscross applesauce. And I don't mean that to be derogatory, but when I was a kid, they always said sit Indian style. Now they say crisscross applesauce. I haven't been able to do that with my hip since I was 7. And I was shooting today, and all of this walking and all of the muscle that I'm building and all of the flexibility that I'm gaining, I sat down and I needed my normally I'm sitting down and my left leg is tucked underneath because it's a normal leg, but my right leg is laying out, and the right leg was in the shot because I was shooting with the 20mm. Today was the first time that I'm like, oh, stupid leg, and I pulled it back and it tucked underneath, and I'm like, and I said to the model, I'm like, I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. And Nana's like, so? And I'm like, no, I can actually sit cross-legged. And that was so exciting for me. I know it's crazy, but that was such a big deal for me. So anyway, I'm just really excited about that. And it's changing my life. So guys, if you're having a hard time out there with your health and your fitness and everything else, I'm not going to belabor the point, but just walk. Just walk. You'd be amazed at, if you keep at it, it will, it'll change your life. It's really starting to change mine, and I'm very excited about it. So I love you guys. Thank you, bro. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. I love you guys. I wouldn't spend all this time on here if I truly didn't love you guys. I don't ask you for donations. I'm not running a freaking Jerry Lewis telethon here. I just come on here and talk to you guys because I really love you and I do appreciate you. So until next time, keep shooting, never give up on your dreams, find a gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. I want you guys to go on to jasonlanier.com/competition. I want you to win this. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.